Well, hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Hope everybody's doing good today. Hope everybody's keeping busy during this lockdown period. If you hadn't noticed, I've been trying to do more live streams. The tough thing is I can't really give you guys advance notice on those because I'm usually kind of like last minute, like, oh, okay, I got time. So make sure that you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell so you get notified if you want to show up to the live streams that I'm doing kind of impromptu. But today is the normal schedule, 3 p.m. on Fridays, and I decided it's time to do a true Dunkin junk episode on the live stream. So we've been kind of doing some random stuff for a few months now, I'd say. Today we're going to be doing some fun stuff. So Frank, who's one of my patrons, he sent in a box full of crazy. So, and I think this is all kind of like Easter basket-y kind of stuff. So we got some kind of like sort of grass. It almost looks like wood shavings, honestly, but like a kind of a grassy type thing, a bird nest looking thing. So we got two colors of that. He sent in some confetti. This is all kind of like little paper shreds, little squiggles. These are pretty fun. We've actually done some of these. Stephen Daniels sent in some from a while ago when we were on Twitch. I think I was still streaming on Twitch. He sent some kind of Christmas colored ones, and those things work really well. Paper is a good one in resin. And then he also sent, I think this stuff is like that Mylar kind of stuff, like a kind of holographic, who knows what type stuff. And so we're going to kind of play around with it. And actually on Instagram, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, or, you know, I was going to kind of maybe ask you guys, but I actually, Eric, on Instagram said, oh, it looks like we need to make Easter eggs. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. That'll be fun. So I thought what we'll do is we'll make a couple of different 2-inch PVC pipe ones. I got a 3-inch PVC pipe, and I have a bowl. You got to have a basket for your Easter eggs. So we'll kind of make a whole smattering of different types of stuff using these materials. So real quick, I think that whatever material this grass stuff, it's not like the normal like fake grass that you get in like an Easter basket. It looks like, I don't know, some sort of a fibrous material. It really looks like wood shavings. I think this stuff will cast nicely. Paper definitely works. This stuff, I gotta be honest, I don't think that I would want to make pen blanks with this because I don't think the resin is really gonna adhere to it that well. So this is a good type of thing for what we're doing, like an Easter egg where you're leaving most of the blank intact. You can still, if you loaded up the blank with that stuff, what you can do is run the risk of having too many areas that are kind of weak, and it could come apart. So I'm going to be a little bit, you know, we're going to use this stuff a little bit sparingly and try and kind of keep it where somewhat, there's no way to do this for sure, but try and keep it where most of it is kind of contained with resin around it. So that's just one little kind of tip thing that I've kind of learned. I've actually tried casting stuff like this, and it didn't really work too well for pen blanks. Pen blanks are one of the toughest things to make blanks if you're dealing with material that doesn't really stick to the resin. You're turning it down so thin that basically if it's problematic, you know, you have a lot more trouble with a pen blank than, you know, like a bigger thing where there's more resin surrounding it. You can kind of get away with a little bit more on that. So anyway, I hope everybody, like I said, is doing well. So far we still haven't, you know, we're still hanging in there over here. Nobody's gotten sick that I know of, but the numbers just keep going up. So everybody stay inside, get into the workshop, make something fun, and kind of hunker down while we deal with this kind of situation. So we got lots of people. Ohio, we got New Zealand. Did I see someone in Paris? Is that what I saw? Hold on a minute. I saw something. Yeah, bonsoir. From Paris. That's cool. We stopped, we didn't stay long, but we stopped in Paris after Maker Central last year. So we got to see the Eiffel Tower. Unfortunately, it was shut down. There was something going on, but it was amazing seeing that structure. And we got some good food in Paris. It was a kind of a fun little, it was like a one-day kind of stop there, but we had fun. So let's see here. I'm just going to scroll up real quick and see what is happening. Mert has to be medicated properly before you get in front of the camera. It's not a bad idea. Dunkin Junk does return. Yes, definitely. I'm pretty excited. It's been a little while since we really did the real kind of experimental stuff. I want to get back into that. And Bruce is here. Malcolm Clayton, what's up, man? He's local. How you doing? Hope you and your family are doing well. All right, so it looks like, let's see, we got a couple Texas people. Georgia, nice. And Christina, of course, in Sweden. I'd love to get up to Sweden. I have a lot of Norwegian in my blood, so I'd like to see Norway sometime. But definitely Sweden, Finland, like the whole, Nordic area, I think would be really awesome someday. I keep talking about traveling while like traveling is not a thing to do right now. All right, so let's see here. I'm trying to think what a couple other little quick announcements. So last time, let's see here. I don't even know when this was. On one of the streams, it wasn't last Friday, I don't think, but we did kind of a beginner resin casting thing. And we just went for some simple blanks. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys. I'm actually going to switch to this other camera because I can get it to look at this stuff. So nothing, no frills kind of stuff, but we got a purple stopper blank. We did an orange and a yellow, couple pen blanks, just single colors. And what I was saying was, for your first ever resin casting, it's not a bad idea to just grab, a mica powder and make like a pen blank. That way, and do that for a few rounds or make a stopper blank. The molds are cheap, so you're not going to be using a lot of resin, and it's a good way to get the fundamentals down and get practice without, wasting a lot of resin, as well as getting some good results for your first ones. And then the next thing that we did was kind of the next phase in your kind of resin casting journey. A lot of people want to make color swirl blanks. And like I was saying, for your first few, it makes it more difficult when you add more colors and you're trying to get things to do a certain thing. It's good to just, mix in some powder, mix the resin up and pour it and just get an idea of how that feels for your first ones. But for the second ones, we went through and kind of did, a batch of 2 color swirl blanks. So if you missed that, we did that on the live stream 2 episodes ago. I think it was called episode 48. I don't know. If you go to my YouTube channel, I have a playlist that has all the live streams. So, and some people may not really know about that. Let me scroll down and look. So, yeah, so episode 48 is the name of that one. And that's a really, really good, if you're getting into casting, that's a good one. And I kind of thought, there may be a lot of people at home right now who are like, I have nothing to do. Now's a good time to get started with casting. So I'm pretty happy with these colors, though. They turned out good. We're kind of going for like a little bit of a Spider-Man kind of feel. We got some blood red and some paradise blue caster's choice. So I think I'll probably put the color swirl ones up on my website at some point, or maybe I'll just kind of do a giveaway or something. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to sell the single color blanks. They're just not really sellable. I'll do something else with them. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is last episode, or the last one that we did, it was a few days ago, I was turning up the brick pen blank, and I got through the turning and everything on that one, but I didn't get the whole pen assembled because I had the cap to do and a couple things. However, I got that all finished up, and if you didn't see it on Instagram, I'll put a link to, it's available. The pen turned out really good. I'm pretty excited about it. So here's a link to it on my website. Gretchen already got it listed, so if anybody wants to buy that pen, you can buy it, but it also has pictures of it as well as the Instagram post, so it's just kind of easier to put that link if you want to go and check it out. You can see the video that I shot on Instagram in the listing post. Pretty awesome pen. I got a lot of comments and stuff on that post on Instagram. Lots of people liked it. So I think that, obviously those 3D print, I don't know what they're called, like little mold blank things that Ashley makes are totally viable. They turn fine. The brick one turned fine. A lot of people were like, oh, the bricks are all going to fly out at you. And obviously that didn't happen. So it turned nicely, and if you want to make a pen like that with the bricks and then the dark side, I sell the dark side blanks on my website. So you can check those out. Just search for Dark Side on my website and you can find those. And then Ashley's got her Etsy store if you want to buy the little brick things. And all we did was just add some red resin. So is Gretchen here again? She keeps popping in. Where's Gretchen at? I'm not seeing her. Why can't I see her? Oh, I don't know if she's actually here. Okay. So anyway, that's done. And then let's see here. So let's get going on this, I guess. So what I had in mind, let's see here. So I'm thinking for the bowl. And I'm probably going to do, I kind of have some ideas for this, and hopefully I want to do like kind of a project video. So there may not be as many color picking, but what I want to do, another brick in the dark side. I like that. Billy, that's a good one. I like that name for it. What I want to do is for the bowl, I want to make kind of like, I want to definitely use the grass stuff and make it kind of look like, you know, a grass-filled bowl. So I think that we're going to kind of focus on that pretty heavily. For one of the, let's see, probably one of these 2-inch tubes, I want to just go with straight, you know, the paper shreds. So we'll make one paper shred one. For one of them, and I think we're going to do the big one, we're going to use this Mylar stuff, and maybe we'll put a couple things together with this. That way we have a little bit of a thicker blank, maybe a little bit more resin on the outside of this material to kind of keep things together when we're turning it. So we'll do that. And for the other one, we'll do kind of, yeah, so let's just do the kind of Mylar stuff. Maybe we can add some, you know, powders or something, or tint the resin. Like there's a couple of options that we have basically with this stuff. We can go with clear resin, we can go with tinted resin. So I think we'll just kind of, oh, Gretchen is here, okay. We'll just kind of, I don't know, toss out some ideas. If anybody wants to super chat, you can kind of pick, you know, the look on one of the blanks. And then one of these, the other 2-inch one, we'll just kind of go for everything in it. I thought, you know, why not? So first thing I'm going to do before I forget, and this is an easy thing to forget, I am going to spray all of my PVC pipes and make sure that I have those things ready to rock. So I get my stoner out. I think we're going to use Alumilite Clear Slow Set today. I was thinking about maybe going with epoxy because we're not really embedding things and we're not putting color swirls and doing a bunch of stuff. It would give me a lot of time. I could probably mix up all the resin at once, possibly, maybe, or at least half and half, and then, you know, kind of pour it. But I think that for the bowl, definitely Alumilite Clear Slow is a good way to go because I'm not going to be putting anything else in here. It's going to be kind of clear. I'm not taking up space, basically, volume with like burl chunks or pine cones or anything. So Alumilite Clear Slow for this one, definitely it's going to be a 600 gram pour, and it's kind of a thick mass where I think most epoxies are probably going to overheat. This one would be kind of close for epoxy. I'm not sure about that. That's definitely a good one for Alumilite. And then the 2-inch ones, you know, no big deal. We could go either way, but I think we'll just go with Alumilite for all of them. Just kind of stick with that. I filled up my jugs, so I think we should be good to go. So you guys can kind of see me over here. One thing that when you spray this out, you know, there's like a cloud of junk, right? So I don't really like spraying this around things that I'm going to be casting. So I'm actually going to go kind of off screen here. I'm going to give this a good coating. I don't want my blanks sticking in here, and I haven't sprayed these or used them for a little while, so I'm going to make sure that I give it a good coating, but I'm not making it like drip down the sides or anything like that. It's coated all over. And then what we're going to use is these little plugs, the Turner's Warehouse plugs. These things make things, you know, make plugging the tubes really easy. Now, I just sprayed that off with my air hose. I don't want to get junk in there because a lot of these things are going to be kind of clear. So we don't want little particles of junk floating in our pipes. Go off camera here. And I'm not doing anything tricky or anything. I'm aiming this in an area where there's nothing that I'm concerned about covering in mold release. I don't really know if there's really any health risks in breathing that stuff. I mean, the obvious thing I would say, I don't think it's a good idea to huff that stuff. Probably not healthy to do that, but I would imagine it's not particularly dangerous, like overly dangerous. I don't know. It is flammable though, so you got that. It's not even a bad idea to just go outside. If you're like in a garage shop or something where you can just get out, outside. Not a bad idea to spray that stuff, somewhere else other than in your casting area. Mike, thanks for, whoa, wow, that's a huge super chat, man. I appreciate it. So Mike definitely gets to pick one of these things. Which one of these blanks would you like to have some control over? The bowl, the 3-inch, or one of the 2-inch ones? You definitely get to, you can just have at it. You pick whatever kind of colors, and I'll kind of ask you questions. We'll do it a little bit systematically, but we'll let you get in charge of one of these guys. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully you might be one of the people that's kind of stuck at home doing nothing. And I got a lot of requests to kind of ramp up some of the content, so I've been trying to kind of help out. I know it's something that a lot of people are kind of displaced and kind of in a tough spot. Some people are in a really bad spot right now, and if I can just make some more live streams, which I can, then I'm very happy to do it. Hey, there's Frank. What's up? California Air Tools. Let's see here. Rex, yes, you definitely want to get the Stoner. I wouldn't recommend, if you're using Alumilite Clear, it's the one that you need to use for mold release. Technically, the one other thing that you can use that I've used, and it works with Alumilite, is, but you got to be careful, like thin coatings of it. The only other thing that you can use is paste wax. That'll work, but I got to be honest, Stoner is a better way to go. I think it's what I use, so I would definitely recommend going with that if you're using Alumilite Clear. There are some other formulations. I just wiped that out with denatured alcohol just to kind of clean off any junk that might be in there. Let me see. Oh, Mike, you're getting to work from home. That's not bad. Mike's doing the 3-inch. All right, so that's cool. Why don't we'll do that one first then. How about that? So that one is going to be I still want to use this stuff with it. I'm not going to take that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to let you choose the material on that. You can add materials to it, but I want to use the Mylar stuff on the 3-inch because of what I was saying. It'll hold up a little bit better. We might be able to dangle a few little shreds in one of the 2-inch, but so for that one, we can either go with dead clear. Again, we're going to go with these little Mylar strips. We could tint the resin, where we just use an Alumilite dye, or even we could use an alcohol dye, and just create like a color, but it's like stained glass, totally see-through. We can add some little swirls of powders, glitters. So lots of different things that we could do. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing, scooting up here. Let's see. I think Keebler's asking. Are you asking me about the pots that I recommend? I recommend choosing whatever pot will work best for you. The ones that I use and like are CA Technologies, and they're a little bit higher quality. And I actually have a video that kind of covers my take on picking pressure pots that I recommend checking out. But it's up to you. It's based on your budget and what features you want in a pressure pot. The thing for me is, and I understand that they're pretty expensive, but there are people that flat out, all they want is the best quality stuff. And I think that CA Technologies is among the best out there. So, you know, if you're going for the best, that's what I would recommend. There's a lot of people that are on a budget, and Harbor Freight is the only thing they can afford. I don't necessarily recommend those, but they're, you know, as long as you're using it safely, there's nothing wrong with them. I don't like them, I don't prefer them, and I don't trust them for what I do. But you know, my business is making blanks, and I'm standing by 4 pressure pots that are typically under pressure. So I'm a little bit less, I'm a little more cautious with my pots. I'm okay paying for higher quality. The thing is, I'm pressurizing it and unpressurizing these things way more than your kind of weekend warrior, you know, making a blank here and there resin caster. So, you know, that's the perspective that you have to kind of understand from what I want, basically. I'm going to try and find a link to that video. There it is. It's probably going to start up right away. Yep. So I'm going to get a link, and I'll let you watch that, because I really go through and I planned that video out specifically. It's not which pressure pot should you buy, it's how to choose one. I think it's you know, it doesn't matter which one you use, really, as long as it works for you. So let's see. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, most people that buy the CA Technologies pots like them, you know. I don't know, besides me, you know, doing this for a living basically, and being by them all the time, I'm just the type of person that I'd rather have the pain up front with a tool than buy something cheap and have it just anger me for the rest of my life, kind of thing, you know. I won't buy Harbor Freight tools either, just anything with a motor from them, because I'm not going to mess with it. I'd rather buy a super high quality tool. You know, I don't know. Tools that don't work the way that I want them to out of the box anger me, so I'd rather not. Let's see here. I'm just so where's Mike at? Mike. Swirls of color powder, gold or emerald green. I like that idea. So do you want to keep it clear resin and then just add some kind of swirls of powder? We got some, I got to be honest, one of my favorite colors is emerald green from Caster's Choice. I think that's let me switch cameras. Let's see if you like this one. It's a pretty good color. That's like which I need to contact Brian again because I'm almost out. Jeez. We could do a little bit of gold. This will be a pretty good one because we got to kind of, when you're doing larger blanks like this, yeah, this one, you're only adding a little bit, you know, you need just slight swirls of powder, then you have to be kind of careful with how much you add. So that'll be a good one. All right, so I'm going to get my little book of notes out here. So I've estimated that this 3-inch, so this is like a 3-inch pipe. Let me see what how high it is. And I'm going to measure from the top of this silicone thing. So we're looking like about 5 inches tall to like the top. And so I at least want to have about a 4-inch blank, you know, but if we can kind of fill this up, that'll be good. Now I'm going to be making an egg, so it doesn't need to be, you know, a whole lot longer than it is wide, you know, but, and it's a 3-inch diameter. So, you know, 4-inch, 5-inch, that's pretty good, I think. Clear with swirls. Nice. All right, cool. Ashley's here. What's up? Okay, so today is the 27th. It's one of my buddy's birthday today. Oh man, I should probably text him. All right, so we're doing Easter eggs is the theme. So number 1, we're gonna go with the 3-inch with, and I don't know what this is actually made out of. I'm just gonna call it Mylar. I think that sounds right. I don't know. 3-inch with Mylar. So we're using a 3-inch PVC pipe. We're using slow set clear Alumilite. And I kind of estimated that it's going to take maybe about 700 grams. That might be a little bit high, but I'd rather overshoot this one just to make sure. So that's 350 grams times 2. So 350 of part A, 350 of part B. And we're going to go with clear resin plus mylar strips. I don't know if that's what that stuff is actually, but I'll know what that means. Plus some green mica swirls. All right. So this is going to be a fun one, I think. This is going to be a fun one. All right, so I'm going to get my gloves on. You can see me up in the kind of corner up there a little bit. Kind of see what's kind of going on here. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear some of the things out of my area that I don't need for this casting. All right. It just makes things, if you're like me, it makes things go a lot smoother. But even if you're not like me, it's just good to have all the stuff that you don't need, out of your way. And we got our little mold here. So real quick, one thing I'm going to do is, let's see, we got 3-inch, a couple 2-inch pipes. I think I'm going to go get just a piece of HDPE or wood. All right, perfect. I got a piece of, this is actually ultra high molecular weight, but just to make sure, I'm going to put this in the bottom of the pressure pot. So basically, I'm just going to kind of set it on this when we're working on it. And just that'll give me something to kind of pick up, and it'll also give it a flat spot to sit on in the pot. Not entirely necessary. You can use, if you've got one of these types of trays. The problem is I'm doing a lot of blanks today, so I think we're just going to go with that one for this first. And I'll probably use my P-Town subby mold rack for the 2-inch pipes. Maybe we can get both of them done at once. All right, so I need a bucket for my resin here. Let's see, 700. I think we can mix that in a quart mixing cup. I think it'll work. If you're going to be doing totally clear resin, if that's what you're going for, I would actually just go get a brand new cup, one of these quart mixing cups. I'd recommend doing that over trying to clean one out, because you always miss little nibs of dried resin. So it's just dead clear castings are one of the worst things, because it's so easy to get like a little dust particle or whatever. And if you're using something that's already probably got some junk in it, then you're kind of setting yourself up for disaster right off the bat. I got to think here. So I only have so many pressure pots. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm just thinking about the logistics of all this stuff. All right, because I got to have pressure pots later. That's another reason why I was thinking about using a slower setting resin, but we're good to go. We're good to go. So, zeroed my scale out. Let me get the right jug here. So we're, again, Alumilite Clear Slow Set. So 350 grams of part A. We're getting there. 330. 344. Yeah, you're definitely a Dunkin junkie. Do I live real close to my shop? No, I live about 30 minutes away. Let's it's not that far, I guess, sort of, but I got to be honest, I have more of a commute doing this job than I did when I was an appraiser in Vegas. Closer to the office, let's say. Here, I was closer in Vegas to my my office. But all right, so and then if I'm going for dead clear castings, I generally add, and I'm using Alumilite Clear Slow Set, only this one, or it could be the regular set, but Alumilite Clear. All right, not Amazing Clear Cast, not any other epoxy, not anything. No other brand. It's just Alumilite Clear. I add a little bit of extra part B if I'm doing something that's totally transparent, or if I'm going for dead clear. It just helps with the clarity a little bit. Now, not a lot. Not going way over. I'll probably add about 1.5 grams, so 350 and then 351.5 or 352. Just a little extra. Nothing crazy. We don't want to make the ratio way off. We want to add, make sure that we have, what we're doing. Why I'm doing that is, what you don't want is to have the mixture be part A heavy, because you can get some white streaks in it if for some reason that happens. If your scale was slightly off when you were measuring, so that's why I do it. But it just generally I get good results doing it, so I keep doing it. All right, so I've zeroed out my scale. We're going with 351.5, part B. This is going to be pretty close. This is going to be a pretty full cup, I think, by the time we get done. I think it'll hold about 900 grams to the top. 600 is pretty easy to add to one of these quart mixing cups. 700, we'll have to see. Should be okay though. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. 351.5. Ooh, we're getting there. All right, 352, that's fine. So here we go, we're gonna mix it up. I'm actually gonna, yeah, that's fine. Hey, Rich, thank you. Happy Friday to you. The weekend is coming. Hey, how's it going, Everett? 11:30 a.m. in New Zealand. Nice. It's about lunchtime. What's for lunch? No, I don't usually heat my PVC molds. And so I know that I tell people to heat their molds. But the thing about PVC pipes is there's no corners. So... and everything's equidistant, so it's not like you get corner creep. I heat all my any silicone molds for sure, and I also heat up the square ones. But I don't mess around with. I don't find it totally necessary for PVC pipes, especially with this amount of resin. Shouldn't be a problem. But I don't even heat up like pen 3/4 inch PVC pipes. So that is, I understand that sometimes things, there's always like, well, you should do this, except for in this case. And there's nothing wrong with doing it either, but I don't find it to be necessary on round things that don't have corners. The corners come to such a point, and that's what's problematic. It's all kind of equidistant on a pipe, so it doesn't really affect, you don't have any kind of weird pullback, I don't find. Avocados on toast. Woo! That sounds good. I'm coming to your place for lunch. All right, so I think we got that resin mixed up pretty well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to dump off a very tiny amount. Very tiny amount of resin. Maybe a little bit more. That I'm going to mix that emerald color into. It's a lot. The way you want to do that. If you're adding just a few little swirls, you'll want to add it into resin. I find that to be the best way to go. It's kind of hard to just dump in some mica powder into the full thing. So we're just going to add a little bit there. That ought to be good enough. Then another thing you could do, you can use a syringe, which actually, I got to be honest, I think we're going to go for the syringe on this one maybe. Because we're going to have Mylar in there anyway, so let's do that. I actually bought some real syringes. So check this out, guys. And I kind of got this tip from Scott Grove. I have the little pipettes, and they're okay. But I've always wanted to try an actual needle, and this will be a good reason to do it. So I have no clue how these work. I'm guessing you just kind of shove this thing on there. The nice thing about an actual needle is I don't think we're going to get as much air pockets. Like when you're using those little pipettes, they just kind of aren't really amazing. So I'm just going to kind of suck this up. Oh, that's not working. Like I said, I've never used these before, so there's going to be a little bit of a learning. Whoa, don't dump out your resin. Well, I don't know. That's not working. Okay, I don't have time for this. I'll have to figure those things out another day. That might not be the right tip for that thing. So I'm going to go get a pipette real quick. Instead, I have a whole big box of these, and although like I said, they're not the most amazing thing on the planet, they certainly don't require instructions to use. So you just squeeze it and let it kind of suck up some of your resin. Okay, so we got that going. Give this a little bit of a stir. Can you guys see the mold? No, not really. I want to get this thing. The reason I use this little platform is so I can get my fingers under it when I want to pick it up to put it in the pressure pot. So here we go. We're going to dump in our resin. Let's see how we did. Yeah, I actually overshot it a little bit. That's going to be enough. All right, so let's get our Mylar junk out and just kind of, might have have been a smart idea to kind of shove these in first, but I think what I'm going to do is grab a stick and just kind of push them down in there. One reason I wouldn't have loved putting them in first is they would have probably picked up some of that demold agent, which would have made the bond even worse. So just kind of push these guys down in. That's looking pretty cool, guys. So it's kind of hard or nearly impossible to get these things to just sit in the middle, which is what I would have really liked, but I think there's going to be enough resin around it to not really have to worry about it. I think we'll be fine. So we got that. Now, can you guys sort of see what's going on? Shoot. Let me pick this thing up a little bit and turn it over there. All right. So now we have our pipette. So what I'm going to do here, hopefully you guys can kind of see this. I'm going to I'm actually going to get a little bit more. Resin in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off the tip, and then we're going to kind of push this down in. Now, it probably would have been smarter to wait a little bit. That's probably going to sink. I kind of forgot. Well, it's looking okay so far. This is one of those things where if you push it in really low, I wasn't really thinking about it, but you run the risk of the mica powder, the green stuff kind of falling to the bottom. So just in case, we're also going to add some a little bit higher. Got to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of those pipettes for this kind of thing, but and I'm just going to dump the rest on the top. You can also just kind of dump it and then push it down in with your stir stick to kind of swirl it around. Typically, that's kind of what I do. It just seems like I'm just better at it usually, but this thing's so deep that it makes it a little bit more difficult. So we just got a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of green. We don't want to go too crazy with it. It's pretty bubbly right now, but I think we're going to be good. I'm going to push some of this stuff on the surface down in a little bit. Kind of get those up. There we go. And that's it. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. We're going to get it into the pressure pot. So I can't really switch the camera view, but I'm putting it in my pressure pot over here. And we're going to pressurize this to 70 psi. And we're good. Now, with the size of that blank, let me switch to this camera view while I'm cleaning off my stir stick there. And actually, shoot, you know what I should have done probably is done something with, I kind of way overshot the amount of resin. The problem is I really don't have any more room in pressure pots for it, so I don't know what to do about it. That's one thing that I don't typically do very well, is have things ready for extra resin. But what I was going to say is for that size, I'm just going to throw that needle away because it's going to get clogged up anyway. For that size of a blank, Alumilite Clear Slow Set is, the demold time is like 2 to 4 hours or so. I would say 2 hours is probably more than enough. It might actually be done in like an hour or two, hour and a half. I generally, you can pull things out of the pressure pot too early. So, when in doubt, leave it in a little bit longer. So in 2 hours, it'll be ready, basically is what I'm saying, for me to pull it out of the pressure pot. So we're going to be good to go. Yeah, it looks like we're still live. Excellent connection. Or 8, 20 or 22 gauge needle, possibly. I don't know. Honestly, Alumilite's pretty clear. This is an 18 gauge needle. Oh, I guess actually hold on a minute. Maybe this thing is an 18 gauge. I don't know. I gotta be honest, it seems like it would go through there. But not to worry, guys, because I knew that there was probably not a one-size-fits-all option. I also got some bigger ones. So we'll play with those once I actually know what I'm doing with them some other day. Oh. Okay, come on, get back in there. Stay in there. Okay, so what is next? Let me just wipe this thing off. I like to clean off my stir sticks so that they're ready to go. I only have one this size anyway, so I like to have it ready. So let's do the bowl next. And then in this one, we're going to be going with the, where's the stuff? We're going to go with just the grasses, I think, on this one. And we'll just kind of fill the bowl up with these little grass looking things so that we can turn a bowl to hold our Easter eggs in. That should be kind of fun. But again, thank you to Mike for hooking me up with a huge super chat. I really appreciate it. So I can't wait to see how that blank turns out too. Yeah, suck it up without the needle. That's a good idea. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Try it out when we're try it out when I'm not in the middle of like resin setting up. All right, so this bowl, I've used these many times before. They hold about 600 grams of resin. And for this one, I'm trying to think here. So we're going to put the grass in. I don't know if there's any reason to put anything else in color-wise. I think if you made anything that was really opaque, it really wouldn't look like grass. I think it really needs to be pretty much see-through. And I don't know that, you know, adding like green tint or something like that, that's just not really going to do anything. So I think that probably just dead clear, and then put the grass in. That's probably the way that we want to do this. How do you pronounce your name? Samia? Samia, I think. And you said you're from Paris? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Haven't heard too many complaints from too many people. I think everybody's been, that I've talked to anyway, has been kind of keeping their wits about them, let's say, and staying safe. So we're going to be 600 grams, 300 times 2. I'm going to switch to the other view so you can kind of see what I'm doing down here, up in that corner view. And then we're going to go with, some glitter. Let's see here. How about purple glitter? Purple's fun. I have actually some metal flake. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Glitter. We're going to go with this purple. I got to open it first. Is this... I already have one that's open, maybe? No. Okay. Not too much. We'll just add a little bit of fun. Gotta get the tape off this thing, though. Just cut it. Okay. What do you guys think of that? I'll add a little bit of glitter in there. That'll be fun. Good call. Good call. Glitter everything. Yeah, I'm down for a little bit of... I'm not going to overdo it. We're just going to add a little bit of this glitter, just to have some sparkly, so it's not just clear and grass. Because the other thing is, this may not look like grass in the end. You know, sometimes your best intentions, you're like, oh yeah, we'll just put the grass in there and it'll look like a grassy bowl. Well, when we turn this up, it may not look like anything having to do with Easter baskets or grass. So, let's do that. And got our little bowl. Again, I'm not going to heat this up. It doesn't really require it. Let's see, 300 times 2, we're going to go with clear resin. We're using the little red bowl. That's the mold. I always put which mold. We're using slow set clear. And we're just going to go with clear resin, but we're going to add the grass stuff. And again, I don't know what this stuff is actually made out of. It's not like your typical fake grass. It's more like, honestly, it kind of looks like wood shavings or something. It kind of looks like wood or something. So, Should work pretty good. So we're just going to call that stuff grass, plus we're going to add a little bit of purple glitter. Just a touch. All right, so let me get another big cup out. Again, I'm going to just get a clean cup. I'm not going to use a reused one. Got our cup ready. Zero that out. And we'll get our resin going here. Oh, I see. Pearl white. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, 2 super chatters. Sweet. Yeah, actually, I do have some. Okay, so I got Caster's Choice Pearl. I can do that. We can add a little bit of that. And I do have a lot of pink glitter, too. I have some glow-in-the-dark pink glitter. I'm not sure how well that'll work. And then I have some other ones, too. Let's see, what do we got here? We got lots of different glitters. This one's maybe a little bit too kind of crazy hot pink. But we got this one. And we got this one. This one's the glow-in-the-dark one. It's really kind of... I don't know if that's coming up. Yeah, okay, it is. Pixie dust is glow-in-the-dark. Candy is not. And then this stuff is kind of crazy. They call it fuzzy dice. These are all I got from Glitter Hippo, but it's the same company as Solar Color Dust. So let me know. Christina's always into glitter. Nice. Yeah, so we'll do a little bit. And this is technically, I mean, technically it's glitter. It's not really any different, but this is, they call it metal flake in the automotive paint industry. So you can find, if you're looking for metal flake, that's what that stuff is. All right, so we got our bowl. We got 160 grams. I need 300. Got a little ways to go. Not the glow one. Okay. Not the glow. Not the pixie dust. Oh, I actually just found another one too. All right, actually I found even more. So there's this one that's kind of more, it's a little more red, purpley. And then there's Bubblegum Princess. Oh yeah. And then we got Ballet Shoes. That's like super light pink. And we got Candy. And we got Fuzzy Dice. That one's like super hot pink. And then I actually have some of this hollow glitter stuff that's a little bit more on the purple side, but it's called Troll Hair. So you just let me know. Yeah, I do have some mixed up resin behind me, but it's just going to set up before I'm done. So it's, unfortunately, it's just, I don't care. It's, it is not worth me messing with that stuff. I need to have as much time as possible. You're right, and if I was hurrying and trying to do stuff, but the problem is when you try to, you know, oh, let me try and salvage that, then it's just going to make things not really awesome. Not a good idea. All right, so we went to about 301. We're going to do 302 grams of part B. We're getting there. Let's see. 260. Need 302. All right. A little over on that one. I'm just gonna add a touch of part A. Moving a little bit deep on that. Okay, so let me get my stir stick out. And you said, let's see, I saw Jen said, right, I got you, Julie. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to mix all these things in here. So it was Bubblegum Princess, I think, right? Is that right? No, hold on a minute. You can use your mixing containers. I'm not right now. Let's see, what happened? Where did Jen's, whoever has the bigger flakes? Let's see here. Bubblegum, no. Yeah, Bubblegum Princess. All right, there we go. Bubblegum Princess. Okay, we got that. We got some purple stuff. And then we'll get some pearl for Julie here. Let's see here. White pearl. So we got our white pearl. So we're going to have, there's going to be a little bit going on here. I'm not going to add a whole lot of all this stuff probably. Just a little taste of each. And we'll see how it ends up. All right, so let me see if I can kind of separate out some of this grass. Yeah, so that should work pretty good, I think. All right. Just going to pour about half of this in the bowl first, and then start kind of sticking this stuff in here. See how it goes. Might have been a good idea to kind of heat this stuff up first, just to knock off if there is any kind of moisture on the outside, but kind of too late at this point. I think it'll be okay. It actually had one of those silica packets in the package of it. So I think it should be pretty dry, but I would recommend, especially if you're in kind of a humid area, always a good idea. This is going to be tough to fill with glitter and stuff. All right, so let me think about this here. I'm going to try and we're going to mix up a couple of these little cups, and we might be able to kind of just dump some of this stuff in, but it's going to be kind of hard to get pearls and swirls and all this stuff kind of going on with this grass in the way. But you never know. I don't have a whole lot of confidence, but it may turn out pretty good. A lot of times I'm like, if you can't picture it in your head, sometimes you're kind of like, I don't know. But in the end, it ends up turning out pretty good. I'm probably not going to use all of what I'm mixing up here for this stuff. I'm just going to add a little bit of it. All right, and then okay, we got our pink glitter. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is just kind of dump some lines kind of like this. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work. We'll just have to kind of see. Okay. The glitter's not really, I don't know, the pink glitter, I don't know if that's really working as hot as I would have liked. I'm just going to try and kind of spread this around a little bit. We'll just have to kind of see what we get here. I'm going to push this down and add a little bit more of this stuff. And then pour the rest on. Actually, I'm going to kind of pour the rest in the middle. That's going to push everything kind of to the outsides. With our colors and all that. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I think about this yet. But I think it'll turn out okay, though. So I'm just going to use my little rack thing here. Maybe not. We're going to use this rack thing. I was going to use that for my PVC pipes, the 2-inch ones, but we'll be all right. And actually, I'm going to take this over to my pressure pot, my big one that's set up over here, just to kind of save some space for my small ones. So I apologize, I'm off camera on this stuff, but no different than me filling a 2.5 gallon pot. All right. And fill it up. And again, we're going to go to 70 psi. And we'll be good to go. All right. So we got our bowl done. Let's see, where'd my error thing go? I don't want to lose that. All right, I'm back, guys. So for the other two, let's see here. Julie's turning between centers. Nice. I like that. Let's see. TBC bushings. Actually, Brian, I need to get in touch with you. I know I can just send you a message, but I wanted to have you make me some finishing bushings that are like the right size. So be looking for a message from me. Wanted to order some of those. I don't necessarily need them. Usually the way that I do it, I don't put I don't glob a lot of CA finish on, but there are some cases where, you know, like on a blank where you have to fill things, it's much easier to kind of just glob it on a blank like that. And for those situations, I would like to have some, do you make nylon or Delrin bushings for that? Something like that? Yeah. It's a lot of people ask me about the mandrels, you know, like, oh, well, what about the mandrel saver? And I just, you know, that helps a little bit, but it's kind of a night and day difference, I think. It was for me anyway, when you switch to the TBC method. And that's what most people kind of say. I don't know that there's too many people that are really, you know, cheering on mandrels. Most people hate them. So it's just crazy because, like, I mean, I don't think I ever bought one that out of the box ran true. And I know that, you know, I will admit that I probably bent a few with my tailstock over tightening it, but I mean, they wouldn't, none of them really ran true out of the box. So it's just, you're kind of in an uphill battle. If you start out with something that's not even running true, makes it kind of hard to get perfect stuff. Stuart, so why 70? Well, the minimum's 40, and there's no reason, you know, mine can go to 8. Well, the max is 80 on the CA Technologies pots. I only go to 70, so there's no reason to stop at 50 necessarily. So 70's, you know, the number that I go to for most things. Kind of, and you are kind of right, because I can. The big thing is, you know, like I said, you want to be over 40. My line of thinking, I don't know that it's going to make a whole lot of difference if you have a blank, you know, if I went to 50 in one pot and 70 in another with like the same stuff. I don't know that it's really going to make any difference, any noticeable kind of difference. But the one thing I will say is the higher you go, if there is a leak in your pot, the longer, you know, you can go without having to worry about it. That's just in the back of my head. Yeah, the classes are canceled. I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about last weekend. We ended up canceling them. And I'm glad we did, because leading up to that, it was kind of questionable. I was, you know, like there's a lot of like, who knows, you know, what the right thing to do is. And then pretty much like that weekend, it was pretty much a no-brainer at that point. So. All right, so one of these we are going to, what are we going to be doing? One of them we're going to put kind of a little bit of everything in. And then I think one of them, what did I say before? I think one of them we're just going to do this confetti stuff. I think that would be kind of fun. So, and you could go a couple different ways with this stuff. You could put like a solid opaque color and you just get little squiggles on the side, or, you know, you could go with kind of a transparent, kind of clear thing. Or like a tinted resin might actually look okay, I'm not sure. So let's see here. What causes the top of them? Moisture, there's a lot of things. Moisture can cause it if your part A is heavy, using Alumilite Clear Slow Set. If it's too cold in the shop, there's a couple reasons. They haven't bent enough of them, yeah, I know. let's see. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So I think, let's see here. All right, David, thanks for coming out. UV exposure will make things turn yellow. That it's yellow that you're going to get. Yeah, so I would recommend, make sure that, it's warm enough. Make sure that if you're putting anything in the resin that there's no moisture at all, 0%, like it needs to be completely dried out. And not a bad idea to just add a little extra part B if it's Alumilite clear or clear slow. Don't do that with anything else. It's not going to help with like epoxies or anything. So on this one, let's see here. So I'm trying to think here. What do you guys think? Do you think we should add any color? Because like white isn't a bad way to go. You could add just white dye to most of the resin and then put these little goodies in there. I think that the depth and the squiggles on the inside would probably be cooler a little bit. We can kind of just add a very tiny amount of red dye from Alumilite, or we could go with an alcohol ink that's pink. That might be kind of cool, pink, or purple, and just make it like tinted resin, but totally see-through. I don't know. And then for the other one, I think we're just going to go with clear, because I don't know that adding a lot of like colors or anything else is going to really make any difference. We just want to get all three of we're going to add some of that Mylar, we're going to go with some of the grass, and then some of the little shreds and just shove it all in there. It's going to be kind of crazy. So let's see here. Anybody have any ideas? Rainbow. I think maybe alcohol ink purple might be fun to try. I've never actually made a blank. It was like a hybrid blank or, whatever. The only time I've ever used alcohol inks was when we did those tests to try and make the Petri dish things. And they didn't really turn out that great. I'm trying to find, let's see, there should be a couple purples in here. If I remember correctly. Yeah, there's eggplant. I think that one's a little too dark. Go with this purple twilight, I think. Well, we're talking. Yeah, they're gonna be Easter eggs. So I want to see purple. We're gonna go with a purple alcohol ink because I can't do a bunch of rainbow stuff. That's not gonna work. And on the other one, I don't want to add anything to it. I just want to add the materials. So I think we can do both of these guys at the same time. I don't see why not. So I'm going to mix up all the resin for both of these, and that way I can get them into the same pressure pot as well. So those guys I think are going to hold, they're about 6 inches or so, 5 or 6 tall, something like that. But I don't need a 5-inch blank necessarily. So I'm just going to mix up, I think, let me do a little calculation here real quick. 3.14 times 5 times 28.5. Yeah. I'm going to mix up about 300 grams for each of them. So we're going to mix up 600 total, 300 times 2 again, and then we're going to break it into 2 different pipes. One of them I'm going to add a little bit of the alcohol ink purple. So it's going to be purple tint plus the shreds. It's going to be very lightly tinted. That's what I'm going for too. So just to make sure you know. And then number 2 is going to be everything but the kitchen sink, we're going to call it. All right. So I'm going to do, again, let's see here. Yeah, again, I'm going to get another fresh cup because we're going to be going for clear on this one again. Let's see here. part A. Yeah, 300 of part A. Three, 290. We're getting there. Ooh, 299.8. Oh, that's tough. All right, 300, and then I'm going to go 301 with the part B. All right. Whew. It's a tricep workout right there. Pumping your Alumilite clear. 297. $300.8. Okay. Close enough. 300.9. And then what I'm going to do is, this is enough for both of these pipes, just to make sure you guys know what's happening with all this. I'm mixing it all up in one cup, and then I'm going to divide off 300 grams, and that's going to go in one. And actually, that may be a little bit more than these pipes are going to need for how tall they are. So I'm going to try and think ahead this time and get a pen blank size thing ready. Just in case we have extra, we can kind of dump it in there, do something with it. All right, that ought to be good. Let's get a cup here. We'll do 300 grams in this one. All right, there we go. So we'll go with the alcohol ink in this cup right here. You guys can see. Oh, you guys can't see it. Wrong camera. All right, so we got two pipes. We had enough resin for everything, but we got two cups now, 300 grams. I'm going to put the alcohol ink in this one. I'm just going to kind of mix it up. I don't know if you need to or not. I don't really use alcohol inks that much, but I'm just going to add a drop or 2 drops. Now, the nice thing about alcohol inks is they're very diluted. And that's all I want. I don't want, like a dark purple or anything like that. Maybe a little bit more. We'll go with, one more drop. Just kind of sneak up on it. That is the big nice thing about alcohol inks. Alumilite dyes, you can do the same thing, but you have to really be careful how much you put in there. Like a pinprick would be darker than this. I'm going to go with one more little drip. And we're going to call that good. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually just dump in our little shreds into the resin and kind of mix it around so that we get it all over these little paper shreds. Hopefully it'll be okay to pour this stuff out and it'll actually make it into the pipe. Might have to be a little bit kind of tricky about it. I think it'll work though. Look at that. I mean, that was about perfect, guys. Nailed it. Hey, where do you think you're going? All right, that one's good. Kind of set that aside a little bit there. And then this one is going to be, I think what I'm going to do, this stuff is pretty thin, so I think I'm actually just going to kind of shove it down in first. The grass. The resin shouldn't have any problem kind of running around it. I don't like putting things in the mold first a lot of times because you can trap air pockets by doing that. All right, so we got some grass. Let's see here. We need some shreds. Not too much of the shreds. We're just going to put a few in there. I'm going to put them into this cup and just kind of mix it in. And then I'm going to push in our little Mylar things. Not a lot of it. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is actually cut these guys down so that they're not really long. Try and kind of grab them all, kind of cut them to the same length. Lost one of them. All right, so now they're a little bit more manageable. I think I'm actually just going to kind of dump them into this cup also. Mix them in a little bit. We'll just kind of play around with this stuff. Try it a few different ways. This stuff, they kind of like static cling to you, so you'll probably find little strips of stuff all over your shop. All right, so mix these guys down in. Let's see how we did here. Not too bad. We got a little bit of everything in here. Pretty close on the amount of resin too. Not a lot of extra. Don't have to worry about that. What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know how these are going to turn out, but they should be pretty fun to turn. I don't know if we're getting a lot of, yeah, it is pretty, it is purple. I wasn't sure if we were going to get a lot of purple on there or not. All right, so I'm going to go get, let's see. I got a little piece of HDPE that I can put down in my pressure pot. It'll be flat. And both of these guys can go in there. And we'll be good to go. Lid. All right, 70 PSI. Kevin's here, how's it going? And Sarah, nice. There we go. OJ's here, what's up, man? How are you doing? get some gloves on and kind of clean things up here real quick. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Julie. Yeah, the paw pen went fast. Michio was all over that. He swooped in once we got it up on the website. And I actually think the Pink Floyd pen is going to sell pretty quick too. I've had a few people ask me about it already, just from that Instagram post. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. So I'm just cleaning off my stick real quick, and then we'll kind of wrap things up and get going. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I don't know if I've done too many Easter projects yet on my channel. So what I'm planning to do, hopefully I can get these, whoops, what am I doing? Hopefully I can get these guys turned up. Let's see, when is Easter anyway? I don't even know. The 12th? Is that right? Yep, the 12th. Yeah, so I think I can get these things turned. It'll give me some good stuff. Oh, OJ shows up and busts out a 10. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. You kind of showed up a little bit late. We were just wrapping things up, so I apologize for that. But the good news is, not like Twitch, the YouTube ones are available right away for replay. So if you want to see what we made, I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how these things turn out. But I should be able to turn these things, since we got kind of lockdown procedures going on right now, and I'm trying to get some more streams up. Hopefully we can turn some of these eggs on the live stream and kind of see how they go, like little by little. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know. In my head, the one issue that I have is these eggs are probably going to be pretty big for that little bowl. It's only a little 6-inch kind of bowl thing. So we'll have to kind of see. Maybe the two smaller ones will fit in there, and then the other one will kind of have to sit on the side. But it should be pretty fun. Like I said, haven't done. I don't know if I've done an Easter project on my channel yet, so it should be pretty cool. So, and a big thank you to Frank for sending in all the fun goodies. And I'll probably be kind of messing around with these things, and we'll try some different things out. I think that the grass. We can make some pen blanks with that stuff. I don't think there's going to be any issues with it bonding or anything like that. I think it's a pretty good material to go with. I don't know where he got this stuff. I'm just going to see. They call it Easter grass. I don't know. It doesn't really say anything, but it's not. I mean, it honestly, it looks like wood. It really looks like. Well, that's not going to work. That camera doesn't pick up on anything. Let me switch to this view. But I mean, honestly, this stuff looks like wood shavings. It looks like dye stabilized wood shavings or something. So that stuff should work really well. I'm thinking about just shoving a bunch in a pen blank, or making pen blanks out of them, see what happens. But let's see here. Well, I'm glad. Thank you again, OJ, for hooking it up with the super chat. I appreciate it. That's a huge one too. Let's see. Make sure that we're not missing anything. 12th of April, yeah. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, there it is. Frank got that from Joanne Fabrics. So, and again, I think I said it, but again, thank you for sending in all the good stuff, Frank. Frank's one of the top supporters over on Patreon, so I really appreciate that. As well as sending some stuff in. He just sent me another box. I think it's Madrone Burl in there or something. I can't remember for sure, but it's something. There's some goodies in there. So next week, let me just look at the calendar really quick, because I think next week is the Patreon. Yep. So next Friday is going to be the patron live Q&A hangout on Friday. So if that's something, what we did was we set it up for patrons only. And I wanted to have a way for people that are doing resin casting stuff to kind of have direct access to me for just questions and answers. I can't always keep up with the chat on my regular streams. So we started doing these once a month. First Friday of the month, the Patreon folks and I get together on Friday afternoon, and I do a little bit of a kind of a demo at first, and then, you know, it's basically similar to what we do on the live stream, just kind of hopefully kind of like a 30-minute one. And then we just kind of hang out, and it gives me a chance to kind of hang out with the patrons, as well as answer your questions, you know. So if you guys have questions, direct questions, bring those. So if you want more information on Patreon, we get a little bit extra content and those live Q&A monthly hangouts. So let me, there we go. Let me get the link for you guys. I'll have a link down in the show notes to that. There'll probably be one on the screen also for folks that are watching back. But I'll put this in the chat here. So if you guys are interested in that, that'll get you access at any level of support over on Patreon. Lots of fun stuff over there. Lots of people. It's been growing. So we've been trying to kind of grow the community there. But I can't wait to, excuse me, I can't wait to see everybody next Friday. And then make sure that you guys have subscribed and hit the notification bell here on YouTube so that you get notified when I go live, because I'm going to be doing that probably maybe a couple more times. Again, like Fridays are my usual live stream day, but I've been trying to add in a few. So I'm thinking maybe we can do another Monday and Wednesday next week as well. And then, you know, Friday will be the Patreon live Q&A hangout in the afternoon. So hopefully I can get some things turned and have a little bit of fun doing extra live streams and kind of hang out with you guys, give you guys a place to hang out and take your mind off of all the crazy that's going on out there. But thank you to everybody who joined the fun tonight. Thank you to Frank for sending in the materials that we could use. Big thank you to everybody that super chatted tonight. You guys have been crazy. You guys, generosity. You guys are super generous. I really appreciate it. Let's see. And then Sunday, I got a video coming out. So I guess that is 2 days from now. And I think you guys are going to like it, because every single time I make a pen and use that little pen press thing, I get a billion questions about where I got that, and I actually think I've come up with an even better method of pen pressing. So that's going to be in the video on Sunday. Hopefully it'll be helpful for you guys. So anyway, I hope everybody stays safe, hunker down, stay healthy, wash your hands often, and I will see you guys probably next week. Let's tentatively say hopefully on Monday we'll do another live stream, all right? So have a great night, guys, and I will see you next week.